national security claim is bullshit. We know Trump just wants access to Greenland's resources once he pries that icy island out of the hands of those Euro hippies who care about the environment. And Trump's obsession with what he thinks is a gigantic piece of land goes back to some good old-fashioned colonialism.
And if you don't know what the Mercator projection is, there's a very, very good episode of The West Wing about how, Western colonialists misdrew the size of land masses on the planet to make the Northern Hemisphere and the West appear superior.
I was immediately transported back to 2001. I remember this episode, and I remember discussing it in class.
Plain and simple, we'd like President Bartlett to aggressively support legislation that would make it mandatory for every public school in America to teach geography using the Peters projection map instead of the traditional Mercator.
Give me $200 and it's done.
Really?
No. Why are we changing maps?
Because, CJ, the Mercator projection has fostered European imperialist attitudes for centuries and created an ethnic bias against the Third World.
Really?
The German cartographer, Mercator.
I just wanted to come on here and say I'm sorry. I voted for him, and I thought he was going to make things better for folks like us.
President Trump said the United States invented everything.
I can't. He's so egotistical. He's so unhinged.
Oh my God, my stomach hurts.
This is the first time I've been abroad since the election, and I've lost count of how many times I've gotten the look, that look of awe and sympathy that I get when I tell people I'm from the States. In the past few weeks, I've been to the UK, I've been to Lithuania, I've been to Latvia, I've been to Estonia, I've been to Sweden, I've been to Norway, I've been to Finland, I've been to the Åland Islands. And everywhere I go, I get the look. I have never been ashamed of my country. Never been ashamed of my country. I served it for 16 years. And what I've had to do over here, after the 5th or 6th or 7th conversation, I had to tell them, I'm from Canada. I can't even claim my own country. This administration that's coming in has painted a target on our backs. I'll always love my country, but I hate the cowards that are coming in to run it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. So guys, Maga supporters, they are furious and also they are losing it over how Canada and Europe think of America. So right now we are seeing that Europeans are people, and also we have seen countries like Canada and also countries like Mexico, how they're treating the Maga people, and also we can see how the rest of the world, they are viewing America. You know, America, it was the first world country which it was highly respected, but right now the American it is losing the respect simply because of how they have been voting, simply because of how they have been also disrespecting and showing and how they have been deporting immigrants, people back to their country. And this is because of the Maga supporters. They're the ones who vote for harsh migration policies, and right now you can see how they've been treating immigrant people in America. It is the same way they are also being treated when they are going to Europe, Canada, Mexico, or any other country. And also right now we are seeing that America, they are losing tourists. So many tourists that are avoiding to go to America, and because of that, America, it has losing a lot of money from the tourist sector. And those people, those Maga supporters who have been highly depending on the tourism, right now they are feeling the pain. So kindly guys, I want you to continue watching the rest of the video. Kindly remember to give a video a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with more commentaries
that most Americans have. Listen, our education system is terrible, and it's constantly being defunded, and the teachers don't get paid enough, and the kids don't actually care because they know that there's no future in America anyway, so why learn about colonialism? But to have a white American tourist sitting in Belgium complaining about illegal immigration is just, it's a beautiful thing to behold. Truly it is. And as is most often the case, when you talk about colonialism, when you talk about the fact that the majority of Americans, white Americans in America, are the descendants of immigrants, whether legal or illegal, there's never a response to that because there never really can be. I mean, America spent the first 150 years of its existence gentrifying the entire continent out from under the Native Americans. And we constantly overthrow governments in the global south so we can keep bananas cheap. And this guy's sitting in a country that he probably couldn't even find on a map, if we're completely honest. If you're an American watching this, can you point on a map where Belgium is? France, Italy, the UK, Spain, I know those are the easy ones for America, and everyone's going to get Sweden and Norway confused. But I can't explain to you how common this approach is. The thing is, MAGA has no problem with Europeans coming to America. Everyone knows that. It's everyone who crosses the southern border. It's everyone who crosses over from Africa. They're the ones that MAGA is really upset about, and we all know why. But the thing is, when you go to Europe, especially to a comedy club, those opinions are just, they're archaic at best, evil and straight up demonic at worst.
What would you like to teach us about the United Kingdom? Because we're also seeing the downfall of the worst empire in the history of humanity. We see a political party called Reform gain more and more popularity in the United Kingdom right now, also because of illegal immigration. Do you guys know about Reform in the UK? Right? If you don't know, the leader of Reform is a guy called Nigel Farage. A lot of people might not know how he looks, but just so you are able to imagine him. You know in fairy tales, when a princess kisses a frog, and the frog turns into a human being? Well, this guy looks like he's mid-transition. Right? Basically a skinnier version of Viktor Orban. What would you like to teach us about the United Kingdom? You're coming back? Really? Eventually? You and what army? You used to be such a great empire that civilized the world, right? Sometimes I do jokes for myself as well. You have Prince Andrew. He's not a prince anymore because he so many children that the royal family was like, this is inappropriate. There is a number that is appropriate, and he went way over. What is the appropriate number of children? You have no, it's 0.
I always get confused when someone say they vote for Trump for the economy, because if you look at the top 10 states with the highest GDP per capita, most of them are blue. Well, you might say GDP per capita is not a good indicator of quality of life. You should look at the average income. Well, if you look at the average income per capita, then more states out of the top 10 are blue. So am I missing something? Can someone who voted for Trump enlighten me a little bit?
So I asked, will the rest of the world ever forgive us for electing someone like Donald Trump? Japan. Not a chance. Trump is just the symptom. From now on, any long-term deal with the United States needs a moron premium in case you elect someone even worse in the future. Netherlands. It's not just Trump. There are 75 million of him that can't be trusted. It will take generations if it is ever restored. France. It's not so much just the election, it's everything that wasn't done to stop him. The United States is lawless. Owie. Remember that the question was, would the world forgive us? Great Britain says, sure, as quick as the rest of the world forgave Germany in 1941. France. US today reminds one of the crumbling empires before the world wars. Arrogant, deaf to the world's anger, convinced of their own invincibility. History doesn't lie. Empires fall, and it's never the outsiders who bring them down first. It's the rot inside. America should stop blaming everyone else and start taking a long, hard look in the mirror.
Trump is being protested all over the world. MAGA in Europe means make America go away. Europe is also wondering, where are all the adults in the USA? And this sign, it's my favorite. It's fucking brilliant. The USA already has too much ice. Those are some of my favorite signs from a massive protest that took place at the US Embassy in Copenhagen, Denmark over the weekend, because Europe is fucking pissed. And today, Sunday, January 18th, the EU is meeting in an emergency capacity to try to figure out how they are going to respond to Trump's latest tantrum, where he's threatening to impose tariffs if they don't give him Greenland. And watching the people protest in Denmark and in Minneapolis, I think the real lesson here is that winter people are not to be trifled with. And look, I'm a Midwesterner. I grew up near Chicago, et maintenant j'ai un pied à terre à Quebec, so j'aime l'hiver. I like winter, but I cannot winter like these people can winter. Look at the Danes and the Greenlanders looking downright cozy while they are protesting. They're not cold at all. And look at the Minnesotans. They are building protest sleds. They are out singing to ice. They are bundled up, and this cold is not deterring them at all. And it reminds me of something a friend of mine said years ago. It was brilliant, and I've never forgotten it. They said, there's no bad weather, there's only bad clothing. And I'm keeping that in mind, because we gonna be protesting for the long haul, y'all, and we cannot wait for nice weather to do it. So, gotta up the gear.
No, you're not. You're not European. You can't call yourself European. Only because you like your grandma's European. That makes no sense. Like if you're making saying like this, imagine no. Imagine I have like ancestry from Africa. Makes me African? Doesn't make me African. Do I look African? No. Do I look African? Stop saying you're European. You speak French, français? Stop. Wait. No, tu vas pas so don't say that.
We are the richest country in the history of the world.
Yeah, so we've heard. Can we have healthcare?
No, that would never work.
Can we have affordable housing?
Why would we do that when there's private equity?
What about public transportation?
Well, think of the auto industry. Come on.
Can we have childcare and parental leave?
No, we're gonna need you to get back to work.
Can we take care of our planet?
Stop. Don't let the guys from Big Oil hear, okay? You'll hurt their feelings.
Can we raise the minimum wage?
You already get $7 an hour. They'll be so greedy.
Can we make college accessible?
Well, then how would we even keep you in debt? Think.
Sorry, so what can we have?
War. We can always afford war. It's kind of our thing.
President Trump, this message is for you. You know, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of you going up on stage, on TV, and telling us that we're living the best economy. Us people, we don't have the type of money that you have. We have to literally count every dime we make to make sure that we can afford our bills. Most people are working multiple jobs. Gas prices are going up. Food goes up all the time. So many people are leaving this country because it's so much better everywhere else. We are the third world country disguised with freedom.
She's right. In fact, the top 5 happiest countries in the world are these countries right here. And they made one small change to their country that America has not done yet. It's a small fix that allows politicians to better represent their voters' needs. It's called proportional representation. And this isn't a fringe idea. 500 of America's top democracy scholars just wrote an open letter to Congress urging them to adopt this new system. So our current system, which most people hate, is dominated by 2 parties, right? Democrats and Republicans. So if one party wins 51% of votes in a district, they win that entire district. 1 representative for every 1 district. But there's a problem. The other 49% of the people that voted, they're not represented. This isn't the case with proportional representation because it allows districts to have multiple representatives, which means those other 49% of the voters, they would still get 49% of the seats in the district. So here's where it gets interesting. This makes it so that independent parties can form around issues such as affordability. This ends all the shit we're tired of. The gerrymandering war, the 2-party system, and having to constantly vote for the lesser of 2 evils. We need to start talking about the shit that we want. Love you guys.
I'm not the only one that feels like this, but as soon as I cross the border and enter America, something clicks and I just don't feel safe anymore. It's like a filter of violence just like passes my eyes. Also, being in America feels too real. Like it feels like Like, damn, this is what the movies are about. We're really in some real shit right now. Once you enter America, it's like you're not watching from the sidelines anymore. You're in the bullshit. Like, I get why they have guns. I don't feel safe right now. What the fuck? Canada's like the minor leagues. You know, it's chill, but you know what I'm saying? It's like the same, but it's like a little different. America's the major leagues. This is where shit goes down. You know what I'm saying? America just feels too name brand. Like, it's like Canada's vaping, America's smoking cigarettes.
Know that German high school students learn about U.S. propaganda in their English courses in high school? Recently, a follower asked to send me a textbook that they use in German 11th to 13th grade English courses to study U.S. propaganda. So like in the United States where we study German World War II propaganda, in Germany, they're studying current U.S. propaganda. They cover everything from U.S. exceptionalism to the American dream, and they show German students how U.S. citizens have been led to have a lack of self-critical awareness to how their ideals have failed. I didn't want to believe it at first, but if you Google the name of the textbook and the word Abitur, which is the final stage of German high school, it returns all kinds of study guides and notes. And what really shook me is that on one of these study guides, it says, the U.S. has become a wasteful consumer society of lonely individuals. So if you've ever wondered how some people outside of the U.S. view the U.S.,
amazing news, everyone.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen and others, we have yet again another delusional ex-MAGA. And Christ and his duty-free carry-on, you are going to love this one.
For those who don't know, I am a 3-time Trump voter. I left MAGA in 2025. And, you know, I am trying to use my voice the best way that I can and sharing information that I'm learning for the first time ever.
Sounds logical. Sounds perfectly sane, doesn't it? I was in MAGA. Except when you hear the I voted from 3 times.
I did not know about Katie Johnson before about a week ago.
That's odd, isn't it? Because I, a white, British, non-Christian woman in Liverpool, I'd heard about her. Why hadn't you?
And if I didn't know about her, I'm willing to bet that there are a lot of people who are also have left MAGA or still in MAGA supporting it that don't know about her story.
It wasn't my fault. I mean, it's not like I have adult analytical skills or the ability to question anything.
We're also just very focused on the fact that Trump was draining the swamp. He was just projecting. Like, I now see it for what it is now. But like, I never heard someone say, yeah, he's just projecting here. Like, he is the swamp.
In over 10 years, you never heard a single person questioning Trump's use of that phrase. You never heard anyone discussing Trump and what he had allegedly been guilty of. And if you did, you just turned your face away, like a good Christian woman.
Never heard that. Never once, like, yes, I heard that you grab him by the thing, you heard all that, but like, I'm also under the impression that this is God's plan, this, you know, he's anti-abortion. He's our guy.
He's men's guy, but he's not women's guy. I mean, he's anti-abortion. Yes, okay, you're a Christian, but surely you had the intelligence to question what an abortion is. No, actually, you probably didn't, did you?
So there's a lot that went into the brainwashing and indoctrination into supporting MAGA.
At this point, you're going to be saying, man, come on, you know, if we want people to leave MAGA, we have to be welcoming and open arms. And, you know, you have to be willing to take these people in, especially if they're contrite about what they've done and they're willing to take accountability.
Now, I say all this to say that I will not be shamed.
She will not be shamed about voting for Trump 3 times, about making absolutely no effort to find out about what's going on in her actual country. She will not be shamed. And again, I can hear you saying, all right, but still, you know, she seems reasonable. But it's only when you find out that people went into her comments and said, that's great, come over, but I will never forgive you for voting 3 times. Come help us fight the good fight. But I will never forgive you for what you've put families through, for what you've put women through. And this was her reaction to that.
You know, I thought it would be easier the more I talked about leaving MAGA, being a 3-time Trump voter. But I have to be completely honest with you that it's not getting easier, and it actually feels like it's getting more difficult.
How awful it must be being separated from your entire family and thrown into that concentration. Oh no, that wasn't you, was it?
And I don't think people really realize how counterintuitive the hate that I receive when You can take one look at my page and see that I am doing the work.
Fair enough. If that work means sitting online, crying your eyes out, censoring yourself, taking no accountability for what you've put other people through.
I read a comment this morning that I'm not stitching because I don't want hate to come our way. But you'll understand why I'm reading it. I've been deconstructing from Christianity and left Maga. I do not speak about it because the hate you receive from the left is no different from the hate you received when you were in the cult.
And now blaming the left for her own personal decisions.
I'm just minding my own business and rewiring my whole belief system. What people don't understand is how hard it is to actually wake up and realize your entire life has been a lie, and now you have to start over from scratch.
I mean, let's not forget that she's talking about ethically and morally, not as in your entire family has been thrown back into a country you have absolutely no contact with whatsoever, you have no understanding of, you know nobody in that country, and yet you've been ejected from the country you've known your whole life. That's slightly more sad, isn't it, than having to think, oh God, I was a Christian and now I'm not a Christian, and I was MAGA and now I'm not MAGA. However will I cope? It's all about me.
I'm not going to allow any negativity from anyone into my life. It's hard enough to do this. I can't see. I had to stop and gather myself.
Jesus Christ, my heart pumps purple piss. You have got to stop, because you are doing yourself no favours. You and people like you have enacted on other people a violence. And now you want us all to go, do-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, Karen's come over to the right side. She's a great person, isn't she? Oh, well done for voting for him 3 times and then deciding you want to jump ship. Well done for tearing all of those families apart. Well done. Well done for voting in a madman. A man who is causing chaos across the entire planet. But no, we should all focus on making you feel better.
Sorry, I don't speak French. I'm just visiting.
Well, then welcome to Canada's Eastern Townships. Where are you visiting from?
I'm American.
Ah, okay.
I just saw this message from Canada to Americans, and I am not okay. I'm going to add it right here.
So guys, I hope you have watched those compilations of video, and you can see how Americans, they are furious simply because of how the rest of the world are viewing America right now. You know, the MAGA people, they're the ones who voted, and because of how they voted, they lost the American respect. You know, right now, so many people, they're not respecting America like before, simply because of how these people, they voted. You know, these people, they showed the rest of the world how they are racist, how they can vote for a person who is not qualified. So these people, they showed the rest of the world how they are, maybe I can say that, stupid, because DJT, he came out and called the MAGA people, they are stupid, they are uneducated. And also, DJT, he was the one who came out and said that he loves uneducated. And because of how MAGA people, they voted for DJT, he came out and tell them straight to their face that he loves uneducated, and also he only wanted the MAGA voters. He didn't want, right now he doesn't care about MAGA people. The only thing that he wanted, it is their vote. And that's why right now MAGA people, they are realizing that why DJT came out and said that he loves uneducated. And also we saw some point in some of the interview whereby he called them stupid. So guys, so right now those the MAGA people, they're the one who are realizing that they really made a very big mistake for voting for this administration. And also they are coming out and see how the rest of the world is viewing America, how the American people, especially those MAGA people, how they are being treated when they are going to the European countries, Canada, or we have seen how the MAGA people have been treated when they are going to Mexico. So if you haven't watched those videos, kindly go to my channel and watch how MAGA people have been treated in Mexico and also in some countries in overseas. Just go and see how MAGA right now they are being treated, because this shows the this tells you that the MAGA people, they are not welcome in these other countries. They are not welcome. In fact, when they are coming wearing the MAGA hat or MAGA t-shirts, they will not be welcome, and also they will lose respect, because even right now, if the Americans, they are coming to visit other countries, if they are coming straight from the airport, those are respect that they were given because of them coming from the superpower country. Right now, it is no more that respect, simply because of how also they have been treating immigrant people in their country. You know, MAGA people, they are not being respected simply because of how they voted. These people, that the ones who voted for harsh immigration policies. We saw how ICE was deporting immigrant people. You can imagine ICE just when you are walking on the street, you in there immediately the ICE, they are there. Maybe you are driving, the ICE police, they will pull you over, asking you to produce the documents, and if you don't have, there you are going to be deported. So we saw how immigrants people, they were being deported, how they were being detained, and this is to tell you that the rest of the world, they were watching, and that's why they decided to boycott America. So right now also, America economy, it is going down simply because of tourists, they are not showing. And it is not only tourists. Right now we are seeing that also America, simply because of how they have been involving themselves with war. You can see right now America, they are fighting with Iran, and also we saw how Americans, they went in ahead and started a trade war with China. We saw how Americans, they went in ahead and captured the Venezuelan president, that it is President Maduro. So you can see, because of America involving with affairs of other countries, because of America starting a war with Iran, it has really made their name to go down, and the rest of the world, they are watching this. They are watching, and right now you can see what they are thinking about America. It is not a good thing. So guys, I just want also to read some of the comment and see what majority of people that are coming out and say in the comment section. This one is saying that it is not just Europe that hates Trump. The world hates Trump. That include Canada. You can see it is not only Europe, also Canada hates America. This one saying that, sorry America, the crappy attitude has been around for a lot longer than Trump. He sincerely exposed that false greatness. This one saying that no sympathy for them. This one is saying that oh, the exemptional US Americans strike again, stealing Canada's good will and good reputation by pretending they are Canadians. EFF off with that. This one is saying that Americans vote for him and the rest of us in the world get stuck with the damage and chaos. This one is saying that I can't believe how anyone could believe Trump. I am a Danish living in Canada, and Greenland will never be taken over by USA, nor will Canada. So this one is saying that the Gulf of America syndrome, America thinks they own the planet. This nation is sinking, never to resurface for the benefit of all the other nations. Exactly. You know, one thing about America, because they know that they're the superpower country, they think that they own this planet. Because we have been seeing how Americans, they've been wanting these other countries to do. They've been trying to control the other countries. You can see how they've been wanting to control the Iran. They are telling Iran not to build, not to have a nuclear, and for them they are having nuclear. So kindly guys, I don't want to talk about the Iran and the United States simply because there is a lot of things to talk about there. So this one is saying that the world has always known and finally now is acting upon the acceptance of two facts: never believe an American and never trust an American. So this one is saying that I am a Canadian who has lived the majority of my life within about 10 kilometers of the Canada-USA border. I was banned from the US for years because I had a cannabis charge from when I was 18 and it was on my record. One charge only in Canada for a very small amount of personal use pot may be 2 joint worth. Nothing to do with the USA when I was in my late 30s. I applied to the government of Canada to have my records clear of that one infraction because I was working in a BC government funded employment agency. Having had this done and my records cleared, I was foolish enough to go down to the border and stop and check if I would now be allowed to enter the US to visit a nearby city and do some shopping with my wife. They held me in a cell for about a half hour to 45 minutes and then came in and told me they had no record of me ever being in the USA, but that because I had informed them that I had my record cleared from a cannabis charge, I was not allowed in the United States. My obvious mistake was being honest. I have been in countries around the world, in Europe, Asia, the United Kingdom, but I have never set foot in the USA since never will. So you can see how United States, they are very strict when it comes to the border. So kindly guys, you can also share your thought on the comment section. Let me know what you think. Kindly remember to give a video a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. See you on my next one. Bye bye.